No, I want to, where's the, there. Blackboard is being very uncooperative. It's okay. Ugh. Oh, okay. Are we finally doing a thing? Is that happening? Blackboard? He's so rude, Blackboard. He's very rude. Hey, people showing up. Yay. I realized I didn't send out the link. So I'm trying to do that now if Blackboard will cooperate, which it won't. Oh, okay. Stuff is happening. I know it's super interesting to watch someone doing something in another tab, which is why I'm trying to continue to talk toward the camera, even though I can't see you or me at this point. Um, but I really am trying to get this stupid email sent. Very annoyed. Thing. Come on. Rude. Um, you can lie if you want to. You can. Okay, no. Oh, Adriana, a key accident. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I hope that works out for you. I don't. I had a Starbucks accident the other day. I dropped a uh, glass bottle of the mocha frappuccino stuff and it shattered. And I was angry. So I feel your pain. Is the take home point, and I hope your blanket survives. Super slow. Everything is super slow. Yeah. 4 people. Yay. Something. My blanket should be okay in like 30. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yay. That's not bad. It's like quicker than when you have to go to the doctor. You know, you have to send it off for testing. The lab says the prognosis is good. Open. Everything. I'm having to click everything like 4 times. And I don't think that's on my end. Blackboard. I mean, my computer is slow anyway. But hello, Sarah. Thank you. It was a good birthday. Very happy. This it was very nice. And our horrible cats. Yes, they're terrible monsters, but we love them. All right. It has now taken me almost 7 minutes to open Blackboard to send an announcement. I feel like that's 7 minutes too long. Okay, let me just put this in. Yes. You're really aggravating. Oh, come on. Well, if Blackboard isn't okay, it's just going to have to get over it. Blackboard is so annoying. It's rude. All right, there we go. Okay. See, I worry if I don't send the announcement, people are not going to realize they need to be here. Um, Maybe I'm being paranoid, but maybe I'm not. So, yeah. Well, I mean, it's every Monday, Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And I usually try to go live 5 or 10 minutes before 1, just so that people can, get here. Yeah, I tried to get here a little bit early just so that people can go ahead and join. Um, but anyway, but it's weird. I get it. Online learning is strange, and the whole situation is very bizarre. Um, and So, I mean, I get it. It's not a thing that. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of like having a regular class, but it's also super duper not. So I don't know. Yes, right? Technical issues. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I've got 1 o'clock. Um, so let's go ahead and get started. Um, yeah. Yeah. It's I need to send out an announcement reminding everyone that I may not send out an announcement every time. I'm going to try to, but if I do forget, just come to the channel at the usual time, and I should be here. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's so odd because the expectations are different, right? Like, I mean, if it were a physical class, I wouldn't be sending out a notification every Monday and Wednesday saying, "Hey, show up for class today." People would just show up. But with this, it feels like I should. Um, and I don't know why, but it really does. It really does feel like I should send out a notification. I don't know. That's a weird. Not sure I can think about that, but anyway. Anyway, um, so hi, Monday, February 1st. We're plowing through the class. Hopefully, you're all doing well. Um, I'm just going to imagine I'm looking out on you and you're all nodding and going, "Yeah, we're doing great." Um, or you're all going, "No, it's going horribly," or just somewhere in between. Um, Whatever. I hope you're well. Um, I will start like I always start. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, existential anxiety? What would you do if a badass carving of the annoying orange was going to give us? um, I would. Good lord, I have no idea. That would be terrifying. Um, yeah, yeah. I think uh, Galia has Galia has it right. Just give up and cry because everything you know is wrong. Oh, uh, yeah. I'm sorry you weren't feeling well, Adriana. Yeah, it's there's been like a little bit of a cold going around. I had a bit of a cold over the weekend. My wife had it before me, and I spent a good part of Saturday just sort of whacked out on sinus medicine and staring blankly at the television. So, which is not the worst way to spend the weekend. Um, I'm not gonna get out and do something kind of person. Oh, bad food, yeah. I mean, even before the pandemic, I didn't go many places. I like to be at home. So, anyway, um, okay, so let's do some humanities. Um, last time, last time we were talking about the transition to agriculture from hunting and gathering, and then pastoralism, and then agriculture, and cradles of civilization like Mesopotamia. Uh, the normally this is where I would draw a map on the board, and it would super impress you because I can draw a really quick map of like the Western Mediterranean and the Fertile Crescent, and everyone would go ooh, and I'm like, I've been doing this for a long time. I can draw this map in my sleep, and but uh, but I can't do that. I can't draw the map to impress you. All right. Um, recommend. I think so. Let me. I need to go check. I'll check it after the class. How about that? Um, but anyway, um, yeah, yeah. Elias is very adorable, which is the only reason he's still alive. Um, because otherwise we have murdered him a long time ago uh, for being a monster. Um, but fortunately, he's cute, and it's a defense mechanism. I mean, it actually is, right? I mean, there. Okay, yeah, right. um, aesthetically, the animals are selected or aesthetically pleasing features that are aesthetically pleasing to humans, because it means humans are more likely to adopt them and take care of them, and that's a good survival feature. Um, so anyway, um, but anyway, we were talking about Mesopotamia. So you'll just have to imagine it. Um, in the book you've got or not in the book, in the PDFs I put online, there are maps of the Fertile Crescent area, um, and if you imagine sort of starting from the eastern portion of the Mediterranean, right where basically like Israel is today, so Syria and Palestine and so forth, going north along that line, and then curving as you move east, northeast, curving under the Zagreb Mountains, and then picking up the Tigris and Euphrates rivers at their sources in those mountains, and curving back southeast toward the uh, Persian Gulf. That's the Fertile Crescent. And Mesopotamia is sort of the what I call the right hand side. It's the eastern half of the Fertile Crescent, the land between the two rivers, Meso, between uh, Potama River. Uh, that's Greek. Obviously, the Mesopotamians did not call their area Mesopotamia. This is the later Greek name for that region, the land between the rivers. Uh, uh, Potama River obviously is also cognate with hippopotamus, which just means river horse. Doesn't look a lot like a horse, but it's a big creature with four legs, and it likes to be in the river. So the Greeks are like, "What's that river horse?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go with that." Hippopotamus. But anyway, also the plural of hippopotamus is hippopotamuses. It's a Greek word, not a Latin word. It does not pluralize by changing to an I. Pet peeve of mine. Anyway, um, all right. So Mesopotamia, the land between these rivers, we get the first uh, intensive agricultural society with writing way back um, in about somewhere between 3000 and 3500 BCE. So 5,500 years ago. Um, And it was a Sumerian city. Um, Sumerian, it's hippopotamuses, actually. Hippopotami is common, and it's even accepted in a lot of places, but it's not correct. It's been accepted because people just do it and no one can stop them. But like I said, the word is Greek, not Latin, so it shouldn't be pluralized by using an I. So anyway, uh, yeah, right. I know, right? But anyway, but the first culture that had writing in this region was the Sumerian culture. And they had a variety of what we call city states, which is to say that these were individual cities that were sovereign political units that shared a common language and mode of dress and common religious beliefs and things like that. So they shared a common culture. The culture are the practices and things that tie these people together. Sort of like how American, there are 300 million of us, and we live in across a huge area. We speak common language, and we all like terrible sitcoms and fast food, um, and American stuff, right? We get extra large drinks even when we're not that thirsty. Um, American culture. Um, so similarly, there were Sumerian cities in Mesopotamia in this period, uh, and so they weren't all part of like one country, but they did share a common culture. Now, the different cities were their own. Uh, that large Dr. Pepper, yeah, exactly. Um, well, one time, my wife and I were my wife and I were in the mall, and we went to the food court because we were hungry, like you do, and we got some food, um, and and she ordered a large drink, just sort of reflexively, and asked me. I ordered the large meal. Oh yeah, she got the large meal that came with the large drink, and she sat down and she started, and she's like, suddenly she has this revelation. She's like, I didn't even want all of this. Why did I order the large? And then she kind of sighs. She goes, I'm such an American. And that cracked me up and that stuck with me because it really is like like we have this sort of cultural reflex. We're like, I can get more for just 10 cents more. Hell yeah. Give me more. It's only 10 cents. The magic of capitalism. Yes. And by magic we mean dark evil magic. But anyway, no. Um, I mean, yes, but so the reason that the cities were individual political units, when we talk about city states, a state is just a political unit. Um, yeah, in America, state has a very specific meaning. It's a certain level of governance in the federal system, right? There's the federal national government, and then there's the state governments, and then we go down to like county and city level, municipal level governments. So the word state has a very specific meaning for us, but it's also a generic word for a sovereign political unit, for an individual political unit. And so when we say a city state, when we talk about city states, what we mean is a system of social organization such that the individual political units are centered around are centered around a city. A city is its own sort of political unit. And even if a city conquers another city, uh, that other city is still going to be administered locally. It's going to have its own officials and its own government structure. It will usually just be sort of like paying tribute to the city that conquered it. Okay. So, why does this kind of social organization emerge? Well, the main reason is they did not have internet. And that sounds like a stupid reason, and it sounds like I'm making a joke, but I'm not. I'm being slightly, I'm exaggerating slightly. But here's the deal. Imagine, I'll let you get a few minutes to get into character, but imagine that you are a Sumerian farmer, that you're all Sumerian farmers, and you're growing your wheat. And then crazy pastoralists or hunter gatherers or whatever who do not do farming and know that you have extra food and they don't uh, rush in and kill a bunch of people and take a bunch of your food. And you're like, well, that sucked. This place is getting a terrible Yelp review. I'm absolutely going to try to prevent that from happening again. And someone says, we have more population and we need to grow the food. Why don't we make some of them warriors? And so some of them are warriors now. And then it happens again. And someone says, we have more population and we need to grow the food. Why don't some of them build walls and buildings that we store the food in? And we're like, yeah. And we do that. And we cluster closer together for protection. We push closer together for protection from enemies. So now we have a concentrated population. We've got buildings where the food is, and warriors to help protect the food, and walls around that settlement to protect us and the food. And like I discussed last time, we've got the priests who study the stars and tell us when to plant, and they also write so they keep track of how much food we have stored and who needs to be getting the food other than the people who are growing it. And well, look, all of a sudden we've got a city, right? We've got a whole little we've got a whole little population living in one small place, circled by walls with a variety of different occupations. We got people now that make tools, that build buildings, that do the writing. If you've got a priestly class that is educated, you then need teachers to teach new replacements for when the old priests die. If you use clay tablets to write on, you need to make the clay tablets. All right. Um, you need someone in charge of the whole hierarchy. That's the autocrat that we talked about. I'll talk more about that later. We now have a varied population living in a small, contained, well defined area. They have a social hierarchy, they have an economy, they have rules that govern their behavior. It's a state, it's a political unit. Um, and it's all contained in a city state. Now, about the no internet thing. Why could they not rule like large areas around them? Well, the problem there in the early days were twofold. First of all, Mesopotamia was not super congenial to right, no good communication, no good travel. It was not super congenial to spreading your power out. Um, it's relatively flat, which is nice, but it's also shot through with lots of little channels, natural and artificial, of water that branch off of the main rivers uh, between the rivers, which means that there are lots of little barriers to travel and thus to communication. Um, and it's not. it's kind of, there's no obvious, how to put this. You can spread out a little bit. The area isn't huge, but like let's say Uruk, one of the earliest cities in Sumerian culture. Uruk is down right on, practically right on the Persian Gulf, a little bit to the western side of Mesopotamia. And if you were a Sumerian and you didn't want Uruk up in your business, you could kind of go off a little ways and still be within an easily cultivated area, and found your little city over here. And suddenly you've got the city of Ur, Uruk and Ur and Sumer. And it was your, the other people could live in kind of any direction. It's very different from the Nile River Valley in Egypt. In Egypt, in the Nile River Valley, there's an extremely narrow band of habitable, cultivatable land, just a couple of miles on either side of the river, and the river runs, north south. And if you are the ruler of Egypt, you can send your patrol boats up and down the river, and you are never, I mean, most of the time you're going to be within sight of the people you rule over, right? No matter where you go, you are never more than a couple of miles from the river. And if the pharaoh in Egypt controls the river, you're never more than a couple of miles from the pharaoh's power. Contrast in if you want to get away from Uruk, you can go, 20, 30 miles away, and you're now a couple of days march, uh, maybe 3 or 4 days march from them. So there's this last. This is not going great. I don't know what the problem is here. But I'm becoming more and more convinced it's not with my computer. So that's something. Um, anyway, the point I was making is that, oh God, we lost like a bunch of people there. The carnage. Okay. Um, the point I was trying to make before the internet so rudely interrupted me um, was that, uh, oh, for God's sakes, had to reload, bit of a lag. I'm completely frozen. Okay, this is bad. This is not going well.